All right, 5:01, call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Allen,
Here.
Commissioner Calucci is absent. Commissioner Grace. Here. Commissioner Lozey.
Here.
And Commissioner Salem.
Here. Next item is the minutes of the previous meeting, November 18th. People have a chance to review.
Second.
All right, roll call. Everyone accepts. Affirmative. Project updates, wastewater plant.
Updates from the wastewater facility are in your package. It's a mix of November and December. The last application for payment was 1.9 million. That's detailed in your package. It's the 38th invoice, the monthly invoices and the retainage and the additional allowances are all in your package as well. Payment request again is we're at 85%. We got about $10 million of work left. Things are going fairly, very well, not fairly. You got November package as well as the December agenda. Pump station work, the two main pump stations are Sanderson and Camden and Washington, 3 main. All that work's proceeding, again, very well. We're doing major construction work at the facility as well. There's 6 items there: the liquid oxygen, aeration, grit, scum pumps, sludge thickeners, and odor control are all proceeding on time. We had a little niche with the SRF applications for payments, but I think that's been settled. We're doing well there. The look ahead for the next month is in your package. That's 4 sheets. Pretty well defined and clarified in your package. We did get today from the SRF, the Clean Water Trust.
Gentlemen and ladies.
Rich has entered the building.
Nice to see him. Always a pleasure.
Walking the street, one or 2 trucks all over this.
Yeah, well, that's why we were stopping you from coming.
But I maneuvered around it.
All right, thank goodness.
Something going on.
Yeah, you see it?
A lot of traffic going on.
Oh, crazy.
All right,
Sorry
so
about the delay.
on the repayment of all this work, Ryan got notice. We got notice from the Clean Water Trust today for the SRF program, and they presented a loan repayment plan for this work. They broke the 75 million, which we just talked about, and we've been proceeding for 4 years. Up until this point, it's been a pass-through. So we just get the invoices from the contractor and submit it to the state, so we didn't really feel any pain up until this point. They notified that we're gonna break the repayments into two separate loan applications. The first is for 37 million. That's the one we have in front of us. The first payment will be due January 16th. It's about 1.3 million a year for the next 30 years. So that'll cover this 37 million. We got $10 million debt forgiveness, which means the loan is really 27 million, which is awesome. And it's a 2.2% interest loan over 30 years. So it's gonna be a 1.3 payment, $1.3 million a year payment. And that's January of 26. Will be our first payment. We're gonna have another $37 million relative to the wastewater facility, probably in next year's fiscal. That'll resemble something like this.
Okay.
But it was great that we got, $9,857,000 in debt forgiveness, so that's good stuff.
That's great news.
But we are, the bank's knocking on the door, they want their money.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start paying for some of these improvements, but the facility will be up to speed for the next 20 years, we won't have to worry about anything. And the towns do pick up a third of their, 30% of whatever the formula is for that month, but
Got it.
we're in the 70% range or so it's all good. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Dan, it says here Sanderson small delay, but it's not blocked anymore, so that means it's completed?
I believe that it's been rectified, yes.
Right, okay. That's my question.
That's okay, thank you. Any further questions? If not, over to drinking water. Rick?
Mr. Chairman, the Water and Sewer Commission is in compliance with all federal and state drinking water regulations. The water supply capacity as of yesterday was at 56%. The average for this time of year is at 72%. So we bottomed out about 44%, which is right around the last meeting that we had. And it's been kind of very tricky pattern because we had a wet December, we had about 6 inches of rain in December. We're able to use the Ipswich River about 20 days so far, but it has not been able to sustain itself the whole time. We have to shut the pump off when the flow gets down to close to 10 million gallons. We have to maintain that flow in the river. And we've been able to take withdrawals from the solvents that are pretty much continuous since the patent changed a little bit. But right now, at one point, we've taken over 10 million from there, but right now, we're probably taking about 2 or 3. And not only that, the last dry period, everything kind of fills up too. I'm pretty optimistic though that we should make a full recovery by the end of the Ipswich River pumping window, which is May 31st. All 10 of the positions at the water treatment plant are currently filled. And I'm not sure if you just wanted to give a quick update on the lead program, because I think before the last meeting you were looking for that. So as you know, we completed the original inventory in October, before the deadline, and then during November, we sent out over 10,000 mailings to the city of Lynn. And we received a pretty good amount of comments from the homeowners concerned about it. And the inventory itself is a working document, so we're constantly updating it. We've been able to knock off about 1,000 off the list so far. And we received word from the DEP, it was December 24th, they sent some comments to us. And we replied by last week. And then we just received comments back that their initial review looks like there's no discrepancies, but we're pending a final review in the next couple of weeks. The most important thing to remember is that this first step is to notify the residents what their service line material is, if it's lead or unknown, and the potential exposure to lead. And then we have 3 years to come up with comply with that plan that I sent a plan to you guys in October, I handed it out. So we have 3 years to put that plan in place, and then 10 years, pretty much to remove all lead from the service lines in the city. And that includes finding out what exactly is in those unknown services. So it's gonna be a pretty extensive project, but step 1 seems to be going pretty well. And I just wanted to say that we've confirmed 25 lead service lines on the public side.
Yep.
And I believe, just talking among staff, that those would be a priority. I think as of those 25, 7 were continuous from the lead from main to the cellar. So that's another issue you'd have to address if we take off the public side. And a homeowner does not want to remove the lead side. And that's just confirmed. We still have to, of course, investigate the unknowns.
Sure.
Was there a certain date that they decided that lead was not pertainable to have
The
that?
first lead and copper rules from right around 1990. We started doing sampling, and we have a treatment process at the water treatment plant where we neutralize the pH and we add zinc orthophosphate. That helps prevent corrosion. So that's been going on since the late 80s, 90s. And then more recently, the past couple of years has been this new lead copper rule revision. And then now the next one is improvements, the next stage,
Yeah.
so.
Flint, Michigan, what happened in Flint, Michigan changed a lot of things,
I
so,
mean, there must be a cutoff point, a date where they stopped using lead, isn't there?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. There-
That's what.
1984 is like the standard date.
All copper from
Yeah.
that point on.
So just quickly, in 1984, the commission stopped using lead goosenecks as part of the installation of services, but, lead has been a problem it's been known since the 1930s, that that's been a problem.
But I mean, any home after 1984 wouldn't have lead pipes then.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
No.
So why would you need to send letters to those homeowners?
Well, we wouldn't, the initial inventory was over 20,000.
Yeah.
So some of them,
And it was a
everything had to be performed on the side of caution, saved.
Okay.
So at the time, we were going through all the addresses, if there was not sure, it went out. And that's why we knocked over 1,000. We found like on Dan Street is like a 2,000.
Yeah,
So all those houses, they're not, obviously not.
right, okay.
So that's what we're running into.
And just to sort of refresh my memory, there's 59 lead services that are our responsibility, right? And then we don't really know what the funding's gonna be after that, like on the private side. If there was some state money allocated, right? But we're still waiting to see if there'll be any federal help or if it's gonna be low interest loans, is that correct?
Yes, that's gonna be very important, because it's gonna be quite the adventure to convince the homeowners to swap out their services, and who's gonna pay for it. I believe the way the regulation is set up is that we ask the homeowner 3 times in the, starting 3 years from now.
Okay.
We replace it, and there's a chance, you might want to tell me that, I think it might be on the commission responsibility. But that's something that's still up in the air. But definitely, we would be looking for any type of funding and help that we can get.
And is the problem with lead pipes, just for sort of somebody that's a little bit ignorant of it, is it sort of like as they start to deteriorate, that's when they become really bad?
It's more like, a lot of them are already coated, like I said, we've been putting zinc on the phosphate for a long time, so there's a coating, it would be more like if they were shaken up for some reason. You had some type of water hammer that really shook up the pipes, if there was construction going on nearby, that could possibly dislodge some.
Gotcha. So in theory, as long as all the coating's there, the lead pipes are okay, in theory?
It should be, but that's in theory, yes. And not to mention the fact that a lot of the older homes have lead solder in the homes themselves. You know, I believe that's gonna be addressed down the road as well.
Thanks.
And just for us, for a gooseneck, Anthony, what's a gooseneck? I know what but like just,
So a lot of the pipes are installed are the steel pipes. So in order to make the transition to reach grade to the main, they would take, the only thing that was pliable enough to make that transition was commonly used a gooseneck. And that was something that they could bend just to make the connection correct, the elevation correct. And they were used regularly throughout the city, and we take them out all the time. And they're at the point of failure most of the time when there's a service leak, because that's where it usually lets go. So, but in 1984, they changed the law and they stopped using it.
so it's not even that pipe that goes into your house in the basement, it's the part you can't see under the ground that may be connecting that pipe to the water main.
Lead gooseneck is like usually 3 feet long.
Yeah,
so-
just yeah. Okay, any other questions? Super, thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
CSO updates.
Yeah, so they,
So we got a little bit of news. On January 7th, after about 2 years of waiting, the transformer has finally arrived. So that's the good news. The bad news is the National Grid is still not hooked it up to their system. Although Methuen Construction has brought out their electrical engineer to start to do their portion of the connection. But at least the transformer's here, which was a piece of equipment that's been difficult to get. Apparently they're not readily available, but we finally have it. So hopefully there's some light at the end of the tunnel there. On 4 and 5, Gioso has 3 crews in town. One's doing pipe work, they're on Western Ave. The second crew is starting to do the bypass piping on Bennett Street for the Western Interceptor to try to cut down the disruption to the businesses in that area. There was supposed to be a few spot repairs on the Western Interceptor. So instead of cutting an open cut, they're gonna put a liner in it, so they have to do a bypass for that. So one of the crews is beginning that. They should be getting the liner work on the 27th of this month. Also, the other crew is putting in a transition manhole. It's a 10-foot manhole where the 72-inch pipe that's going down Bennett Street is transitions to one side to the other, and then with a junction manhole, which is a 10-footer. So they're doing that work. So things are moving forward, and it's about 46% completed. We still haven't had the power line de-energized by National Grid, which has slowed Gioso's work down on the commercial side of Bennett Street. But they've now shifted down to the other end of Bennett Street, and they'll start to try to get the other part of the 60-inch and 72-inch. So that's the update.
Great, thank you. Anyone any questions? Nope. Kings Beach?
Eric's here. Eric, why don't you give us an update?
So in December, we got out and did a couple days of dye testing and other field screening just to confirm places that haven't been visited in a while. We're still making attempts to keep the final cleaning of the 3.5 miles to go ahead of the beach season. So we have a meeting this week with the police to try and figure out if there's a better path to getting details to facilitate that work, since we need 2 police details in order to get all the equipment in the road safely. We have the next semi-annual progress report due to EPA DEPs due at the end of the month that will document the second half of 2024's work. And then we are making plans for updated screening, sampling, and more dye testing canvassing for the first half of this year.
Question about when it lists inconclusive results, which I know I read it, what it means. It doesn't end up somewhere. I don't know what happened there. Do they get flagged for come back around again, or?
So we're gonna potentially have to go out and check laterals and also retest, try out alternative fixtures, because we have had a handful of the canvassing where we've dived the property and it has not shown up in either the sewer or the drain.
So does that mean the lateral's probably broke?
That could be one potential,
possibility.
or there could be a parallel line that you can't see and it takes longer to get there, or it could be a blockage of some type, so it slows. And there also could just be the GIS mapping might be different than what is actually in the street, so we might have to actually physically go and try and scope the laterals to see if where we can find out where it's going. But yeah, there's been a handful of inconclusives where the dye isn't observed in either system.
Got it.
Are there still properties that you haven't been able to access? So do you know how?
We've had a handful who were I guess you could say, they weren't willing to grant access, but very few. The canvassing we've done in the neighborhoods was more effective than waiting on letters and appointments to be scheduled, but, so I think that's what our plan will be in the future, is to paper the neighborhood and then go out and just have people going door to door, because you stand a better chance of catching people than waiting on appointments that never come.
Great.
Thank you. It's impressive. It's a lot of work. Any questions? Oh, all right. New business, or just, business?
So we need a vote, official vote to authorize the resolution of the clean water loan under commitment CW 2462. This is the loan that I just spoke of relative to the wastewater treatment facility. It's the 37 million less the 10 debt service forgiveness, 1.3 million a year for the next 30 years. Ryan, you want to add something or take over?
Yeah, so this is, it's phase 4 and 5. So the trust just sort of processed the first half of the phase at a clean 25 million. So this is the this is the remainder of 20,087,122. So this is the final loan authorization for the final phases of the CSO separation. So this is the last vote of this kind that we'll have to vote on. So once you guys vote, there's a questionnaire I have to send to the trust. Similar process with all the whatever loan that they have. Bond counsel will then send a green light letter, and everything will be good to go. So we will be put in repayment at some point, but we're still only through phases 1 through 3 on the repayment side of things. So we probably won't see, I hope, we probably won't see any interest or principal payments due for a little while. A little while could be a fiscal year, it could be 2 fiscal years, it could be 9 fiscal years.
Yeah, it's the very same scenario I explained. It's just the second phase of the CSO project as opposed to the wastewater, but it's the same principle. They just separated the loans.
All right. We can just approve the resolution.
No, we need a vote.
I need to make a
Authorize.
motion on that.
Vinnie.
To adopt the resolution prepared by bond counsel in connection with the commission's Clean Water Trust loan under commitment CW-24-62.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Seconded?
Do a roll call?
Yep.
Yes, okay. Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
Commissioner Fucci?
Yes.
Commissioner Grace?
Yes.
Commissioner Lozey,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sloan.
Abstain.
Okay.
All right, next next item is continuation of employee adjustments. Need to go into executive session. Someone want to make a motion?
Yes.
Make a motion?
Please.
All right, second.
Second.
All right. The board, Sam, Dan, you should come.
Yeah, Ryan, Anthony, and Bob Fennell.
Okay. All right.
Time back in, no vote for taken, right?
Time back in. 5:36.
No votes.
No votes. We're taking an executive session.
And,
Does someone
We have
want to make a motion?
yeah, I'd like to make a motion after discussion. I'd like to make a motion that the payroll adjustments for the non-union, non-contract employees be also extended to the contract employees. That's the motion.
Second.
Yeah. Any further discussion? Dale?
Roll call.
Sorry, roll call.
I got a question. Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
Commissioner Tucci,
Yes.
Commissioner Grace,
Yes.
Commissioner Lozey,
Yes.
and Commissioner Salona.
Yes.
New business?
The new business? Coco?
Thank you, Mr. President. With the snow we had yesterday, and when I became counselor 3 years ago, nobody actually explained this to me. I know the history between Lynn Water and City Hall, and as a ward counselor, I always get this call, even from insiders within City Hall, about the role of Lynn Water trucks in advent of city snows. Can anybody here explain to me what is the process of the possibility? Does it happen in the past? And if yes, what is the procedure if the city needs Lynn Water trucks and staff in that case?
So Andrew Hall sends us a notice
Yeah.
over with a posting if anyone wants to help out. So we sign it, we send it to the union, and they sign it, and in the event our vehicles are available, like right now, we got a ton of water breaks out there. So in the event the vehicles are available and people are available, we would provide both the vehicle and the labor. Generally speaking, it's just a labor. But if he calls us, Neil's on a conference call every storm with the city, and our trucks are available, provided, we don't need them for water work. But we do make them available. If the guys don't sign the posting and don't want to plow or don't want to chase the vehicles, then we can't make them.
So that happened in the past.
What?
The collaboration between.
Oh, yeah, we send a
Lynn Water-
posting over there every
Okay.
year. If they want, some years there's 5 guys that sign it and they go on their own time, take off time, if it's a work day, take off time from here, and plow if it's the weekend, whatever. So that option's available to the people,
Right.
our employees, and as well as the vehicles, if they're not being utilized by us,
Right.
we provide, the trucks to move snow, the backhoes, we've done that.
Right.
We've done that,
Right.
but,
Did the
it's
posting
good
get
to
done
know.
this year?
did what?
Sorry, did the posting get done this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Did anyone sign it, Neil?
No.
No? Okay.
One, Sean Brady.
Okay. Yeah, we can do it again and see if people are interested, but.
So that's the procedure. Andy Hall will email you
Yes,
and say like, we need you guys this, and this and that. And if they're available, you guys can provide.
right, no, he sends one for the season over, just saying anyone's interested, have them sign it,
Oh, the
emails, phone
season.
calls, everything. So we post it, anyone who wants to sign, and then the individual storm, they go on a list and say, can you 5 guys help us? And then it's up to the individual employee, whether
Right.
he's available that day or he wants to post. But we just do it for the beginning of the season as one posting.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just to be
That's a
helpful.
vital information. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Neil, are all your trucks equipped with the snowplows already? or-
No, typically it's hauling snow. We'll send a backhoe operator and a backhoe and our trucks and move big snowbanks. We did a lot of that in 2015 when we had all that snow.
Right.
But our first priority is water and sewer work.
Of course.
Oh, I
of
know
course.
that, sure.
But only in a major case-to-case basis like 2015.
Yeah, that's
And
really
the rest are just like, whoever would like to sign up.
right. We've
Yeah.
had a couple of times where they could use some backhoe operators and
Right.
we weren't busy,
Right.
so we helped them during our workday.
Thank you so much.
But a 15 is basically
Very-
moving snow piles, so they
Yeah.
go with the backhoe, scoop it up and throw it in the back of a dump truck and then move it somewhere else.
Right.
Wherever they were putting it. But-
Right.
But we can help during the storm, but it's up to the person. It's not.
Good to know.
Right.
Really
Well,
good
people are
job.
helping, they're using DPW equipment if they're plowing.
Yeah.
They didn't call in contractors this last storm. Private contractors?
No,
They didn't. They just the city plowed with their own trucks.
did they?
Just so, that's all.
Mm.
Yeah.
Was it because the forecast was wrong?
Yeah, probably.
Facebook is better than the forecast, the weather forecast.
Oh, we have a lot of.
Yikes, I'm not sure. I'll leave that one there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It was a joke.
Camera's still rolling. Any additional new business?
No. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.